This is a very abridged version, and I thoroughly expect Fiona and Andrea to completely disagree with every single thing that I say. But it's basically just to give you a little bit of a jumping off point for those of you that might be new to organization design. So it can feel a little bit overwhelming getting started in organization design. I think everyone who's done their first one would probably agree with that. When you do your first one, maybe you're part of a team, maybe it's a smaller restructure or design that you're doing as well. So I think it's really important just to define what is organization design before we get started. So in the chat, would anybody like to hazard a guess what year this organization chart is from? Okay, so in the chat, I'm really interested to hear what your answers are. So please hazard a guess, put the year in you think that this organization design chart is from. And again, Fiona and Andrea, you're very welcome to put your thoughts in there. We've got 1970s, 1980s, 1950s. Great, 1987. We've got 1930s in there. Brilliant. Okay, loads of good answers coming in there. Excellent. 1955. Okay, I'll let you know what it is. It's 1921. It's the General Motors organization chart. So that either means one of two things. Number one is that organizations haven't changed a bit since the 1920s, or organization design isn't necessarily just about the boxes. It's thinking about how organizations actually work. So, because from the surface, a lot of organizations, this wouldn't go amiss in many organizations that we see today. And to quote a person that Fiona talked about early, Naomi Stanford, and we'll reference her quite a lot because she is seen as a real sort of acknowledged expert in the area, although she wouldn't call herself an expert because she still feels that she's learning. But she says organizations are not just structures, they are complex social systems that require attention to the interplay between people, processes, and technology. And that's probably one of the reasons why HR has such a part to play in organization design, because they do understand really closely how the social systems work within HR, and they're best placed to do it as well. So HR absolutely does have a role to play in it, and from a variety of different perspectives. Also, in terms of an approach, so organizations need to change and adapt quickly in response to the changing environment that we find ourselves in. A well-designed organization really should be aligned with its strategy and support the achievements of the strategy. And really, organization design shouldn't be left to chance. It shouldn't just happen through entropy and things just being added on. It's really something that needs to be done deliberately and thought through as well. And that good organization design actually requires a holistic approach. It's about seeing the organization as a whole. And even if your organization design piece is quite discrete, maybe a team or a small function, you really need to think about the whole piece and what the impact will be as well. And interesting to hear what Fiona and Andrea agree with this, but it's both an art and a science. So it requires rigorous analysis, but creativity as well. Also going a bit further into organization design. So it's about finding the right structure, processes, and systems that all in the service of achieving the strategy. And it's also about ensuring the right people are doing the right things in the right way. So it's quite an extensive piece of work that you're doing. And it really looks at the interdependence and interactions between different parts of the organization. So Gold and Campbell kind of talk about difficult links. So sometimes you have areas of the organization that just need some support to get on together. So that's where organization really steps in. And it's really about creating an environment that just allows people to do their best work. So sometimes organization development practitioners will look at things like relationships, and it's actually, when you look beneath the surface, it's actually the design that's actually causing the challenge. So it's really thinking about what the design can do to actually help the organization's environment. So some of the major thinkers behind, so if you want to take your reading a little bit further, you've got Frederick Taylor and Taylorism, Henry Mintzberg, Peter Drucker, Max Weber. If you've ever done HR at university, you'll know Max Weber's the first thing you see. So famous people that sort of were the founding fathers of organization design. And then some of the more recent thinkers, Waterman and Peters, who came up with the McKinsey 7S, Galbraith that came up with the 5-star model, to more recent contemporary things like Brian Robertson that came up with things like holacracy, which is more kind of new kind of self-managed teams approach. There's a lot involved in organization design. So this is a screenshot just of an organization design house and what they covered. So they said that they cover things like business model design, operating model design, work design, job design, and structure design as well. So it's quite extensive what organization design houses do. And also, what you need to do is often it's about selecting a system. So I've lifted this straight from the CIPD organization design course that I did, the advanced one. And so they sort of say, when you do it, you have to sort of select a system model that you'd like to work to, about how you want to approach it. And then you need to choose a process about how you want to do it. And you'll see that there's no one process to help you do it. You'll see the PwC one at the bottom there, in the PwC colors. We noticed that, Andrea. And so once you've actually chosen your process, then you go about actually doing the design. So here is a classic example. So you contract with the client, you collect your data, you diagnose what you think the challenge is, you generate options, and then you start to go into implementation and taking action as well. So again, it's about following a process, and being open and collecting data, and generating options and doing experiments. And with an organization design, because it's a system, you generally don't know what's going to happen until you start doing it. There's a famous quote here from Kurt Lewin, which is, if you want to truly understand something, try to change it. I think that's quite a useful quote to think about. I think sometimes we always think of the different organization designs. You've got like the functional, the matrix, and there's no, and again, Andrea and Fiona, it'd be interesting of you, there's no one right way, all are trade-offs. I'm getting nods, and it is about what are the trade-offs that are right for your organization, matching it to your capabilities and your strategy as well. And then just thinking about, sorry, there were 5 reasons, but I had an additional one on the train home. There's lots of different reasons why HR needs to be involved in organization design. So it could be leading the design, it could be helping align the people with the strategy, the role that talent management plays in helping achieve the organization design, HR's role in change management, how HR can help influence how the employee experience is shaped by organization design, and also looking at things like performance management as well. So HR absolutely has a part to play in organization design. And as I said, there's some lovely references here. This is just a signpost to get you started. And I understand, Fiona, you're a contributor to Naomi's most recent book, aren't you? Is that right? Which is available.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Sorry, struggling to get off mute, Garin. It's the end of the day. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, it was a brilliant experience to be a part of.
And it's a really great book. It's really like, it's all encompassing, and it looks at lots of different areas as well. So there's some journals in there, some good articles, and some different perspectives as well. But I'm sure Fiona and Andrea can signpost you to other resources as well.